Top 10 ridiculous laws that are still enforced across the world. The internet is as of now flooded with records about ludicrous, unusual, and bizarre laws from over the world. What huge numbers of these rundowns won't let you know is that the greater part of these laws are not, at this point, implemented today. What's more, where's the fun on the off chance that you can't get captured for grimacing in Milan or simply naming your pig Napoleon in France? 1. Here we have a rundown of 10 crazy laws from over the world that are still in actuality today. These aren't dark principles wrote down on some material close to arrangements for catapulting convicts. They've raised legitimate ruckus for individuals in this century. Appreciate. 10. Mowing the lawn on Sunday. Germany has more than 82 million individuals, which is about a fourth of the number of inhabitants in the United States. However, it is simply 3.7% the size of the US. This implies Germany has bunches of individuals packed in extremely constrained space. One of the outcomes of having such a large number of individuals in a little space is clamor. Loads of noise. To neutralize this, Germany presented Ruhezeit. Ruhezeit, which means rest time, decides certain times when individuals are required to not make clamor. The time differs from state to state, yet is by and large from 8 o'clock to 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. the following day. A few states additionally watch Ruhezeit between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. each evening. Be that as it may, all states watch Ruhezeit during the entire of Sundays and open holidays. Noise is carefully illegal during Ruhezeit. Nobody is permitted to cut their gardens, fire up their vehicles, play boisterous music, or even utilize the clothes washer on the off chance that they live in a condo. Ruhezeit has prompted some intriguing lawful issues. At the point when one neighbor whined that the frogs in his neighbor's lake upset him around evening time. The court concluded that frogs are a piece of nature and that the upset neighbor ought to get earplugs. At the point when another grumbled that his neighbor's canine yelped excessively. The court decided that the pooch should bark for close to 30 minutes per day. 9. Connecting to someone else's Wi-Fi without permission. Singapore. In Singapore, connecting to someone else's Wi-Fi hotspot without permission could bag you 3 years imprisonment and a fine of 10,000 Singapore dollars. The law is part of Singapore's Computer Misuse and Cybersecurity Act, which considers such behavior as hacking. In 2006, 17-year-old teenager Garel Tangielo became the first person to be arrested and prosecuted for using someone else's Wi-Fi without permission. He was not sent to prison because he was underage. Instead, he got 18 months probation, part of which he was to spend at home. He was banned from using the internet while the probation lasted. The judge stated the ban was necessary because Garel was also addicted to the internet and online gaming. 8. Sharing your Netflix password. Tennessee, U.S. Tennessee has a law denying inhabitants from imparting their Netflix passwords to anybody. The law doesn't have any significant bearing just to Netflix, yet to each diversion site that requires membership. The law is fairly amusing. Since Netflix permits clients to impart their passwords to up to 4 people, the law is certainly not another one. It is really an update of a previously existing law to forestall satellite TV membership burglary. Obviously, the update was upheld by the Recording Industry Association of America. which was worried about individuals illicitly sharing music, while the law is focused at programmers who sell Netflix login subtleties and endorsers who send their logins to an excessive number of individuals. Administrators concur that guiltless clients can be captured for overstepping the law. Guilty parties who spent $500 worth of the administration could be hammered with a $2,500 fine and a time of detainment, while wrongdoers who go above $500 will get progressively genuine punishments. 7. Getting drunk in a bar, Alaska, U.S. In the event that there is one spot individuals are well on the way to become inebriated, it is a bar. So it is to some degree amusing that Alaska passed a law forbidding individuals from becoming inebriated in bars. The law was presented after the state government acknowledged alcoholics carried out most of wrongdoings in Alaska. Alaskan cops took to implementing the law in 2012. Casually dressed cops visited irregular bars to discover alcoholic benefactors. When they speculated somebody was tanked, they called different cops to make the capture. Barkeeps weren't saved either, since they could likewise be captured for offering liquor to an alcoholic individual, since it is extremely unlikely of ensuring that somebody was flushed. Cops just captured individuals who were spewing, tumbling off stools, or downright establishing an annoyance. 6. Chewing gum, Singapore. Biting gum has been prohibited in Singapore since 1992. The boycott was a piece of the approaches presented by Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew to transform Singapore into a first-world nation. The law was passed in light of the fact that individuals were enamored with staying their bit gum on asphalt and train entryways. This regularly made issues, particularly on the train doors. During a meeting with Lee in 2000, Peter Day of the BBC referenced that biting gum could advance innovative reasoning. Lee expressed that biting gum was completely a demonstration of underhandedness. He included that any individual who felt he was unable to think or be inventive without biting could simply bite a banana. Singapore loosened up the boycott in 2004, when the legislature allowed drug specialists and dental specialists to sell clinical biting gum. This implies biting gum sweethearts need a clinical solution to purchase gum. In any case, visitors are permitted to bring constrained measures of biting gum into the nation for individual use. 5. Compulsory HIV tests for suspected HIV carriers, Greece. In 2012, the administration of Greece presented Public Health Decree 39A, a questionable law that allows the police to capture individuals on doubt of being HIV positive and test him without wanting to. Anybody discovered constructive will have their photos and individual subtleties distributed in the papers. They can likewise lose their positions and be removed from their homes without warning. The law was passed in 2012 after Greece saw a spike in new HIV diseases. Somewhere in the range of 2011 and 2012, it encountered a 200% expansion in new HIV cases. The spike was accepted to be the after-effect of enormous joblessness, sedate maltreatment, and a cut in the financial plan for HIV anticipation programs. Be that as it may, the legislature favored pursuing shadows as opposed to tackling the issue from the root. In 2012, police gathered together many ladies and tried them. 17 tried positive. The legislature distributed their subtleties and pictures in the papers and on the internet. The legislature included that they were whores, despite the fact that there was no proof to demonstrate such, regardless of whether it was untrustworthy. 4. Publicly playing the national anthem twice a day, Thailand. At 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. consistently, radio broadcasts, TV stations, and amplifiers all over Thailand begin playing the Thai national anthem. Everybody is required to prepare for action at that point. Individuals sitting will rise, individuals strolling will stop, and everything will grind to a halt until the song of devotion is finished. In certain spots, individuals can at present be captured for not halting what they're doing while the song of devotion plays. The open having of the Thai hymn is impact of a few laws presented by Prime Minister Plak Phibun Songkhram, who is known as Phibun, in 1932. Phibun requested that the national anthem be played at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. consistently and that everybody prepare for action until it was finished. Phibun likewise requested that all Thais know the song of praise by heart, eat with spoons and forks, wear shoes, and dress in Western style. They were additionally expected to eat a limit of multiple times a day. In 2007, some resigned armed force commanders suggested that the law necessitating that everybody stop while the hymn was being played be revised to incorporate vehicles. That way, vehicles would likewise grind to a halt until the hymn was finished. The National Legislative Assembly expressed that the proposed alteration could create turmoil and set up a board to investigate it. 3. Insulting the monarchy. Thailand. The Lèse-majesté law of Thailand restricts anybody from offending the Thai imperial family. The law is disputable in Thailand, where it has been utilized to chase political adversaries. Be that as it may, it turns out to be progressively disputable the second we understand the ruler's pooch is viewed as a piece of the regal family, and any individual who affronts the canine can be rebuffed under the law. In 2015, a Thai man remained under the watchful eye of a shut court and looked down to 37 years detainment for offering sarcastic remarks about the Lord's pooch. The pooch being referred to was a crossbreed called Thongden Copper. It was the most loved of the late King Bhumipol Adulyadej. Ruler Bhumipol cherished Copper so much that he composed a book about the creature. The book was later made into an energized film that turned into the second most noteworthy film industry worker in its time of release, the charged Thanakorn Siripai. As far as anyone knows, made some Facebook posts where he derided Copper, King Bhumipol, and a progressing military defilement case. Nobody recognizes what Thanakorn posted about Copper, since rehashing it would be a demonstration of rehashing the wrongdoing. Thailand's restriction laws additionally implied that papers couldn't print whatever Thanakorn apparently posted, either. The global version of the New York Times sold in Thailand left the space that should contain the alleged affront clear. 2. Marrying someone your parents don't like. France. In November 2010, Frenchman Stéphane Sage was hours from getting married to his Hong Kong sweetheart, Man Sin Ma, additionally called Mandy, when his folks controlled against the marriage. Sage's folks had the option to drop the wedding in light of an old French law went 1803 that permitted guardians and grandparents to overrule the wedding of their kids and grandchildren. Originally, Sage's folks guaranteed they restricted the marriage since Mandy was just wedding their child to increase French nationality. In court, they asserted Mandy was a Chinese government operative. The court discovered that Sage could wed Mandy, since his folks had no substantial explanation behind restricting the marriage. 1. Being in possession of a permanent marker while on private property. Oklahoma City, U.S. In December 2010, an anonymous 13-year-old understudy at Roosevelt Middle School in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, was put under residence capture by one of his educators, Ms. Delyn Woodside, in light of the fact that he composed on a paper with an indelible marker, and it drained onto his work area. Ms. Woodside asserted that the anonymous kid had additionally composed around his work area with the marker. An official of the Oklahoma City Police Department took the kid to an adolescent detainment place. A representative for Roosevelt Middle School expressed that the area will examine the occurrence after school had continued from winter break. The kid's capture had nothing to do with the way that he composed around his work area with a marker. The issue was the marker. Ordinance 35-202 of Oklahoma City makes it unlawful for anybody to be in control of splash paint or indelible marker on private property without earlier consent. The law was passed to keep spray painting specialists from making spray painting on private property. However, it appears to be over the edge that a 13-year-old can be captured over it.